Welcome back to another week of reading comics and manga. Jeez, these weeks go by far too fast. Okay, this week I'm experiencing some Immortal samurai, awkward robot adventures, gun-blazing action, a radioactive dude, and all aboard the Feels train. Choo choo! Alright, let's kick it. I'm ready for another week of comics. Or am I? Man, I'm tired. It's time for another week of comics. I'm back from the gym once again. I know you guys don't believe me, but check this out. Impressive, huh? Alright, it's time to get down to business and read some comics. Now, where did I put it? Today it's The Blade of the Immortal Volume 1 by Hiroaki Samura. I recall starting reading this bad boy, but I cannot remember how far I got into it. So my broskies, let's see how immortal this blade really is. So our main protagonist, Manji the Samurai, also known as the 100-Man Killer, has nasty worms that heal him whenever he's wounded. He has this lovely sister who is unwell. I mean, she brought him poop to eat. True story. Then there is this young lady called Rin Asano. She has had her parents brutally murdered and seeks revenge on the people who have done this by recruiting Manji to train her and help her kill her parents' murderers. It's quite the wholesome story. The art style changes between this gentle pencil work that looks like it's fading at times and deep rich ink with strong outlines. You immediately feel sorry for Rin. Her tragedy makes for one compelling revenge story. My broski Manji uses quite the arsenal of weapons. Question is, where does he store them? Now be warned, because this manga is ultra violent. Blade of the Immortal, Part 2. Let's go. So Volume 2 is called Cry of the Worm. Oh, you know this guy's gonna be trouble. I find Manji to be a little bit harsh on Rin sometimes, but maybe that's what's necessary if she's to become strong. And there he is, spiky-haired man being trouble. This man has an interesting taste in hats. No way, it's another immortal dude. Impossible. Oh no, my broski is super sick. Oh, never mind, he's looking cool again. Alright, we're starting to see some character growth from Rin. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this manga. It's full of surprises, and I have warmed up to the two protagonists. I do believe the art style can be a little bit rough at times. Blade of the Immortal, Part 3. The Bladeny. I'll be honest, the treatment of women in here is pretty rough, and that could be an honest representation of the times. I respect the historical accuracy, but man, it's heartbreaking. Our protagonist keeps finding trouble wherever he goes. Now, I'm no fashion guru, but the rings in Rin's hair are a nice touch. Whoa. Wow. This lady is an absolute beast. Seems like everybody has a rough past in this. There goes this lady again, and she's wasting Manji. What's her name again? Google. Help. Maki Otono Tachibana. She's an absolute chad. Alright, Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Edition Volume 1. It's lots of Immortal, and it's very Blade. In all seriousness though, this is an honest representation of how rough Japan was back in the day, with supernatural elements sprinkled in. I'm quite fond of the two protagonists that we have here of Manji and Rin, and I am rooting for Rin to have her revenge, but I also believe it's going to be a story of growth and development, and maybe the realization that revenge comes at a high price. Anyway, Volume 1 out of 10 done. Now I just need to obtain all the other volumes. Happy Thursday, or as the Irish like to say, Happy Turds Day. It's time for Radioactive Man, aka Geiger, written by Geoff Johns. I have to get through issues 4 to 6 to finish the first arc. Gary Frank delivering on beautiful artwork as always, which reminds me, I should check out Junkyard Joe. The Nuclear Knight, also known as Nate, is shaping up to be one hell of a sidekick. The Electrician is one of many horrifying villains in this world. I love Geiger's sheer determination against all odds. Geiger's two-headed dog, known as Barney, also gets to shine in this comic. Even the animals are beautifully drawn in this. Gary Frank has unlimited range as an artist. Geiger is another stellar book published by Image Comics. They truly are the leaders of the independent comic book market and continue to offer thrilling, engaging, fascinating, and fun comics that deserve to get as much love as they can get from comic book readers worldwide. This stunning manga called Origin blends beautiful looking robots and people with a dash of comedy and a whole lot of sci-fi. Ah, beautiful Kyoto, how I miss you. These fashion levels are over 9,000. Nothing screams sci-fi like a giant computer room. This artwork is ridiculously good looking. Most of the characters have epic physique, whether they are robot or human, which reminds me I need to hit the gym more. I simply love Mai. She goes from goofy to genius and downright courageous. Ultimate wife material. Another epic volume of Origin. I'm really addicted to this manga and I'm looking forward to collecting each and every single volume, of which there will be 10. It's a manga about robots, humor, plenty of philosophy sprinkled in, a little bit of love, and a whole lot of epic action. Oh, and everything in this is ridiculously good looking. Good morning and welcome to the Saturday. Woot woot. And it's time for breakfast. Of course, I went to my favorite bakery and I got this thing. It is a chicken parmigiana panini. Hold on, let me plate it so I can actually show you it better. Ta-da! Yeah, it looks pretty messy, but I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. Now, I didn't get anything sweet this week because I'm trying to fight the fatness. Gotta be healthy, guys. Anyway, I gotta read some comics today. What am I reading? It's Saturday. Oh, I got it. Today it's time for Black Lagoon Volume 4. It's been a while since I read this. As you can see from the back here, it's non-stop explosive action. I simply loved the anime that came out a long time ago, and I was really sad that it didn't continue. Now the manga is still being written, thank you Lord. I think the manga is on volume 13 right now. You know what would be cool? If these got the deluxe edition treatment. Man, that would be so sick. One can only dream. Anyway, I'm gonna have some breakfast, then I'ma read this thing. Alright, a quick background on what Black Lagoon is. A story following a team of mercenaries/pirates comprised of Dutch, the leader, Revy, the main gunfighter, Benny, the mechanic, computer specialist, and researcher, and Rock, an ex-salaryman hijacked by the team. Together, they go on a variety of missions, transporting goods for various clients. The base of operations is located in the fictional harbor city of Ruanapur, in East Thailand near the border of Cambodia. The crew has a particularly friendly relationship with the Russian crime syndicate, also known as Hotel Moscow, run by a lady called Balalaika, who is terrifying. Speaking of criminal syndicates, Ruanapur is home of a few others, such as the Triads, the Colombians, and Italians, amongst other criminal organizations who are depicted here, but tend to operate in other parts of the globe. Boom! Picking up where the action left off in the last volume. I love Revy, also known as Rebecca, but man, she can be a tough cookie. Alright, wintertime in Japan. But unfortunately, it's all business and no giggity. Ooh, new characters. They look great, just like all the cast in this manga. Rei Hiroe, the mangaka, goes to great lengths to flesh out characters old and new. And that's what makes me so invested in this world. I'm always fascinated by the interactions between Revy and Rock. They are both so different. Their clashing points of view make for great entertainment. Things get spicy again, and the volume ends in an absolute banger, leaving you wanting more. Today I have with me The Many Deaths of Laila Starr. This is published by Boom Studios, written by Ram V, and artwork by Felipe Andrade. This is the ultimate super duper deluxe edition, I guess you could say. Really a one and done story, and it seems to be getting a lot of praise here at the back. Everyone's saying that it's a masterpiece. So let's check out for ourselves if that's the case. The Many Deaths of Laila Starr is a story based in the city of Mumbai in India. It revolves around the character of Death, who apparently loses her job because somebody who was just born into the world will eventually invent immortality. Now naturally, Death doesn't like the sound of that, so she travels to Earth and possesses the body of a recently deceased girl by the name of Laila in hopes of stopping the person who will inevitably invent immortality. Oh, and his name is Darius, by the way. From here on, the story takes you on a journey as Death attempts to stop Darius and shows you glimpses of Darius's life experiences throughout the years, whilst at the same time you get to see Laila Starr, aka Death, getting a fresh perspective on life. The artwork is unique and beautiful, and it makes you feel like you're in a constant state of dreaming. Without going into any further spoilers, The Many Deaths of Laila Starr is quite the adventure. It is a beautiful limited series. The artwork is nice to look at. I find this is the ultimate edition, to experience the story. Just like the story being a one and done, life is pretty much the same thing. I would say this is one of the more unique comic books in recent years. It may not completely blow your mind, but it will give you a fresh perspective on life and maybe make you appreciate life all that little bit more. And maybe, just maybe at the same time, it might make you a bit more comfortable with the concept of death. Just maybe. It is a story that reminds us how precious life is and how we should make the most of each and every single moment so we don't let it pass us by. So with that in mind, my fellow comic book friends, the clock is ticking, so make sure you make the most out of life. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next week.